I believe in the strength and the power of art to transform communities. I really do. And I was happy to come.
This is the Old Museum Arts Centre, and it's the reason why Meryl Street was in Belfast. It's a very old building, but it was converted into a theatre about 20 years ago and has produced some of the most innovative drama that Belfast has seen. But its architecture and its age mean it cannot continue, and Meryl Street was here to help in its rebirth elsewhere. So, OMAC, as it's known, is no longer fit for the 21st century. It has no lift and no easy access for people with mobility problems to the theatre auditorium or the rehearsal room on the next floor up. That's now considered illegal. It has a single rudimentary dressing room for men and women, young and old. Even that has more steps, but no shower or toilet. And the theatre is tiny. It seats fewer than 100, not enough to bring in the profits needed to run and develop a space like this.
It's not a state-of-the-art 21st century compatible venue, and it's indicative of the fact that it wasn't built as an art centre, it was built as a museum in 1831. So it's time for, Belfast is now entering a new era. Artists and audiences expect and deserve more than we are able to deliver in this space. And the success of the work we've done, the fact that our audiences continue to grow, the fact that our education work has to invariably happen outside the building because we can't accommodate it in here, we don't have the space, all of that means that we have got to expand and develop, and we're ready to do that now.
Here in this architect's studio, the design for the new MAC Centre is taking shape. The whole project will cost £16 million, and most of that has been promised by government departments, but there is still a shortfall, and that's where Meryl Street's visit comes in. She's raising the pounds and the profile for this amazing brick and wooden structure which will rise up from a former car park behind St Anne's Cathedral. The new MAC, or Metropolitan Arts Centre, will be brick-built at the base and topped off with wooden crate-style rooms. Inside, the facilities will be a huge improvement. There'll be two theatres, one with 350 seats and another with 120. There'll be a large art gallery, a dance studio, and those new essentials for modern arts venues, a bar and a cafe, all tucked into a narrow space in the Cathedral Quarter. The MAC still needs a final push to make that jump from the drawing board to bricks and mortar. A combination of luck and good contacts in the film industry enlisted Meryl Street's help. On her precious weekend off, she travelled from London, where she was filming the ABBA musical Mamma Mia.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome onto our stage, Meryl Street.
Tickets for this question and answer session were free and demand was high. 90 seats went to actors and loyal fans of the Old Museum. They wanted to hear the woman with more Oscar nominations than any other actress reveal how it's done. Maybe some wanted to find out how to follow in the footsteps of Hollywood royalty.
I don't really know how to explain it to people who ask me, how should I prepare to be an actor? How can I get a big break? How can I make it in Hollywood? How can I, all those questions that people do want to know how you do it. But there isn't any formula. There's just trying in everything that you do to do it as absolutely well as you can and enjoy yourself. Because a lot of the success of an actor has to do with, I think, the ineffable, that you sense something about their spirit that's living in the moment that they're doing something. That's what I love to see in actors that are performing. And that's the way I perform no different in Mamma Mia than I did in my living room when I was the Virgin Mary and my brother was reluctantly the baby Jesus. But I had the same commitment and belief and invention. You know, my mother's slip going over my head. But it's the same thing. You have to love what you do, and you have to have a good time, because it just isn't worth it if you don't have a good time doing what you do.
Were you aware when you were making some of those, particularly maybe the early movies like The Deer Hunter, Kramer versus Kramer, of what important movies they would turn out to be? I mean, The Deer Hunter was really one of the seminal movies of its time, wasn't it?
That film had an enormous impact because of the time in which it appeared, and I think because of the accuracy with which it described a certain segment of hometown life in middle America that people didn't really see too much on TV, and the impact of the war on that life. It was pretty accurate in terms of identifying those first-generation immigrant communities that were doing all the coal mining, steel mill workers.
Linda, I just want to say how sorry I am about Nick. I know how much you loved him, and I know that it'll never be the same.
I grew up in a part of New Jersey, not too far from those areas, and you know, I thought it was, I could relate to this girl, but I wasn't prepared for what a big deal the film was. None of us were. We just learned Ukrainian dances at the wedding.
What about directors, Meryl? How important is the director to you making the choice as to whether or not you're going to be involved in a project? I mean, if it was something that at first glance maybe didn't appeal to you.
I just have a nose for things that appeal to me. If the script doesn't appeal, it sort of doesn't matter. That's not to say that I haven't had experiences where material has come my way and I said no, and then a script transforms that material, because I had that experience with Bridges of Madison County, and Clint Eastwood had called and said, I'm going to be directing the Bridges of Madison County, would you be interested? And I said no, and he said, well, I think you should read the script. And I said, you know, I don't think because the book didn't really appeal to me in the way that it did millions of people all over the world. It just, I don't know. But the script was quite a different animal, and it smelled like a movie. It felt like a movie.
In that case, why sleep? You don't need rest. Why eat? You don't need food.
What are you doing?
Gee, I don't know. Maybe I'm not cut out to be a world citizen who experiences everything and nothing at the same time.
And so I had to change my mind, which I do a lot. But, yeah, I was glad I did it.
Let's get some questions from our audience, shall we?
You're renowned for your ability to adopt different accents. How do you carry out your research, and do you stay in character when you're not on the set?
I listen. It's very, very hard for me not to slip into what I hear around me. Very hard. My children so make fun of me when I answer the phone, because they say, oh my God, the operator was Jamaican, right? Because I just kind of start talking, you know, in patois, and it's like a problem. But I love music, and language is music, and how people make their voices lilt or stop or halt or elongate things is an expression of their own personal music.
Hi, my question is about roles that you pick and how you choose them. And you once stated that every decision you make and all the roles that you do is because of your children. And I was wondering if there's any roles that you think that your children still believe that you should be doing in the future.
It's interesting. When my children are 27 and 23, 21 and 16. And when they were little, they didn't care about what I did. You know, they didn't care about which movies I did. I did boring grown-up movies. And then when they were teenagers, they didn't really want to know what I did because, you know, I'm their mother, and it's like so embarrassing. And now they're interested out and in their own lives, you know, except for the 16-year-old, and she's still in the, are you going to, like, wear overalls in Mamma Mia? You know? Because my friends are just going to go berserk. You know, it's all about her.
You're known for your meticulous attention to detail. I was just wondering how long it takes you to prepare for a role and what kind of methods do you employ?
I don't know why I'm known for my meticulous attention to detail, but, you know, some things require a lot of preparation, and if it requires it, I'll do it. And if it doesn't require it, I am very happy not to kill myself getting ready. I get ready in my body, in my head, in my dreams. But I don't know. And once I'm in the thing, then yes, then I'm a real pain in the neck to the costume designer and everybody, the prop person, because I have very specific ideas about what this person, because I think everything is telling, you know, every decision that everybody's made today, what they're going to put on, it's all so eloquent, you know, and it tells you so much about people, what they wear. So yes, I have that interest, but you know, I don't go read books about Donegal to do, I just didn't, you know, to prepare for dancing at Lunasa. I didn't, because I felt like I had it in my DNA. You know, I had a great-grandmother from Donegal, so I thought that's enough.
2 pounds of flour, Kate.
Thank you, Austin. Oh, and I better not forget the cigarettes, or a certain sister of mine will not speak to me for a week.
Maggie enjoys her wild woodbine, does she not?
She does indeed. She does indeed, but God forgive me, I do not think it's a nice habit in a woman.
Harmless enough pleasure, Kate. Now, have you got everything? The sugar, salt, tapioca. Oh, I'm sorry, the tapioca's gone up a penny.
That's hardly your fault, Austin.
Oh, and your battery that's come from Letterkenny.
Oh, yes. Not much good it'll do in that old Tesco.
Hi, Meryl.
Hi.
Hi. In Sophie's Choice, how much direction were you given? And can you talk about your interaction with your director in that film and how it shaped and influenced your performance?
The director of that film was Alan Pakula, who was a really wonderful man. And he, again, he set up a set of circumstances on his film, his set, that I've never had before or since. His way of working was that there was a very long rabbinical sort of series of rehearsals where he would ask questions of us and we would ask questions of him. So we talked and talked and talked and talked and talked for weeks. Most people don't do that. And then when we got on set, usually you come in the morning, you get in makeup, you go and have a short rehearsal, and then go back, they light it, and you come in and act it. Okay, that's how most movies go. This one, everybody came in, we'd get ready, and we'd rehearse. And he would send out the whole crew to what he called the tent, and he'd ban them from the set till noon. And we'd just play and create and do lots of improvisations on the thing. And then at noon, he'd come in and shoot. They'd light it, and we'd shoot the whole day's work. And in that amount of time, just an afternoon's time, he got what most people get in a whole day.
Charles Dickens is an English writer. There is no American poet by the name of Dickens.
I'm sorry, no, that is, I'm sure, American poet. Neil Dickens.
Listen.
I
told you. There's no such person. You want me to draw you a picture?
No.
I'm telling you, you hear me?
All right.
Are you easy to direct, do you think?
Yes, absolutely.
Piece of cake.
I think I'm annoying to direct because I have too many ideas, and I grew up in a house with two brothers, and if you don't speak up, you don't, So I tend to express myself fairly freely, and I don't, because the best movies this is, and theater, I think, you feel a part of the whole thing, and you really feel like you have something to contribute. That's wonderful. That's why they hired you, So, yeah, I always try to contribute something, but not to tell people where to move. But I do feel invested in every single part of the film or the play.
How much fun was The Devil Wears Prada?
Not that much fun.
Really? You were spectacularly horrible in it, weren't you?
Thank you. It wasn't that much fun because it was an unhappy creature in a happy mood. My character was not that fun to play. It was just, she was always slightly annoyed at everybody else's incompetence. And if you really get in that head, I mean, I have been in that head. It's not fun, So it was really fun to come home. I was so nice to everybody while I was making that movie, because that level of attention to detail, I found it relentless and exasperating. And the shoes are uncomfortable, and the earrings weigh a lot, and there's always something to worry about when you really, 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 really care about how you look. So,
what have you got coming up that you're really excited about?
One is rendition. It's about the practice of extraordinary rendition in the United States, where they pick up people and take them to other countries to interrogate them. I have a small part in that. There's one called Lions for Lambs that Robert Redford directed and is in, but I don't act with him. Robert Redford, Tom Cruise, and some other actors whose names I don't remember.
You're a great
but
time.
I never met them, so it's not like I met them and forgot them.
You've flown over from filming Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
How's it going?
It's going very, very well. It's so much fun, but it should be fun. So I guess that's part of the job. I have 3 incredibly wonderful leading men: Pierce Brosnan, Stellan Skarsgård, and Colin Firth.
It's hard life, really, isn't it?
And I'm getting paid.
There would be those who would think that that was a bit of a change of direction for you to be Donna in Mamma Mia.
Maybe, but to anybody who knows me well, it wouldn't be a surprise, because I started out in musical theater in my high school, as maybe some of you have done. And I fell in love with the theater through the musical theater. So I got away from it, you know, subsequently and in the years after that, and did lots of other different kinds of things. In fact, I sort of looked down my nose at musicals for a while, but of course, we always come home in the end, you know, and that's what I really love doing. Singing and, well, not dancing, but I like singing.
And you don't mind the spandex?
No, I'm in fact wearing.
Let's get one final question.
Disturbing.
It comes from Chris Paul. Chris.
Apart from starring in a production here in the OMAC, have you any ambitions left in your career?
Oh, that's divine. I would like to direct a movie. I would, you know, at some point like to do that. And that's a big ambition, because I would have to learn how a camera works. The great thing about this job is that I can go on working, you know, until they shovel me in, because if they're going to make a story about a person, I can be a person.
So if we get the right person, you might like to portray them on the stage of the new Met.
Yeah. Yeah, well.
That was those folks.
I'm a good actress. But, you know, I would love to do the stage, I would, but not till Louisa is out of high school. I'm just not going to go away and do something. I've just got a great offer in London to do something. I just am not going to do it. You know, a couple years, and then all hell can break loose at home.
We really appreciate you coming here today. We're looking forward to this evening when you're going to host this big gala dinner for us. But I think that we'd all like to say a really huge thank you for coming along and talking to us this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, Meryl Streep.
So after a change of frock and the attentions of a hairdresser and makeup artist, she made a grand entrance to the Harbour Commissioner's office near Belfast Docks. The promise of Meryl Streep's presence persuaded the heavy hitters of industry and politics to part with their money for the gala evening. This event was certainly not free. £5,000 for a table of 10, that's £500 for the 7-course meal, entertainment and an auction, so that they could shell out even more money.
I'm truly thrilled to be here at this moment in the life of this city. And I'm especially happy because I know Margaret and Anne were really disappointed that Jimmy Nesbitt was opening a supermarket in Limavady. I was thrilled to do it because I believe in cities, and I'm entranced with cities and their potential for just changing themselves. And a lot of it has to do with the young people, and a lot of what's happened in Belfast that's so inspiring to the rest of the world is that it was instigated by a dream for the future that a few people had and saw fit to sit down and make that real for the children and their children and for the future. I think that's incredibly brave, and it's, you know, Belfast is a city that people who don't live here had made a decision about We all thought we knew what Belfast was. I thought I knew what Belfast was. I thought it was an intransigent place with completely unsolvable problems, whose prognosis was just dire. And I was afraid of it. And I was afraid to come here. I was here 10 years ago. I was in Donegal. I was afraid to come north. And now Belfast has just stunned the world, astonished us, offered this opportunity. And that's why I think you have a wisdom here that, you know, very few people in the world understand or know how to even talk about. And you have a responsibility, and your artists and your playwrights and your poets have a responsibility to the rest of the world to let us see what peace smells like, feels like, sounds like. Your musicians, your artists have to deliver that news to the rest of the world because we need it. Thank you very much.
When an artist of Meryl Streep's reputation, who really is a serious actor, you know, she may be a movie star, she may be one of the biggest movie stars in the world, but she's primarily an actor who's very concerned about her crafts and about the sector, that brings a degree of legitimacy with it. So many people are now invested in and really believe in what we're talking about when we talk about the MAC now, a new art centre for a new Belfast. And also we raised a large amount of money. It's just been wonderful. It's quite amazing how someone of Meryl Streep's stature can really inspire people, and it can help us bring people along with us on the journey we have ahead.